Hello everyone, welcome to another impression video in War Thunder. This is in Sector 57 again, and I am the dev server for 1.67 Assault. That's just Assault, there's no extra phrasing, just titled Assault. And we're here looking at one of the new American premium tanks that's about to enter into the game. This is the Assault Tank T14. Well, it says T14, but the full name is Assault Tank T14. Let me show you here, see? It says Assault Tank T14, yeah, okay. Oops, we'll get to test drive in a bit. Yeah, I mean, people familiar with World of Tanks or been to Bovington will know this thing. It's not the most. It's got pretty much a lot. It has a lot of American features on it, so you can definitely tell this is definitely American or design originated. But actually, the T14 is a joint project between Britain and America. So at the time, Britain and America actually. So America and its ordnance department, they traveled to Britain. They learned about the Churchill tank, the Churchill infantry tank, and they said, "By golly, we need something like that in our field." So they kind of, I think they I don't have concrete information. I'm just reading this off of what I found online. So basically they worked together with the British to develop a tank, an infantry tank that has better protection than the Churchill. Remember, this is the initial Churchill model, so this is like so it will only have. So imagine like Mark III, which has only 89mm of armor in the front at the time. So they wanted a tank the infantry that has more armor, than the Churchill at the time, and basically be an assault tank, an infantry tank standard tank. So that's what they went with. So they got that's what they did. The special design specification, the guns. They said that it was either going to be the 6-pounder 57mm or the 75mm on the M4 Sherman. As you can tell, they went with the 75mm in this game model. Not that it's a bad gun, especially when it's rank 2, battle rank 4.3. That means it's on the same level as the M4A2 in the game. So that's the M4A2 75mm. So that's not bad. Armor is apparently the same thickness as a Sherman's, 50mm. However, it's sloped at a steeper angle, so its effective armor is apparently a lot better. To say it's about 90mm. Okay, so it's not that much better, but it's definitely more sloping, so ricochet chances probably increase. Unfortunately, there's this machine gun area that's probably gonna be very vulnerable. So America went with that with the help the British also. I went with it, let's build a tank that can use some Sherman parts, especially, oops, wrong one. They say they got bogies and all that stuff. They got the turret. This is almost the same turret, but it's not exactly the same. So, and generally they use a lot of parts. And then Britain, when they saw one of the prototype models, they said, hey, we're gonna order 8,000 of these things. And they went in 1942, and the first prototype was actually made in 1944. I must have gotten something wrong there. But at the time that the prototype was ready, the Churchill has become a better tank than it was initially. We have the Churchill Mk7 probably by the time, 152mm front armor. And testing with the T14 showed that it was a bit too heavy for what they were expecting. And 42.6 tons. That's almost as heavy as a Pershing. So it's pretty heavy for not that much additional armor, especially in the front, which is surprising considering where is all that weight coming from. It's probably because the whole sides is 50mm as well. Rear too. Okay, so we're talking like KV, like let's have the same thickness all over. But so that didn't really work. So by the time it was ready, British was satisfied with what they got with the cruiser infantry tanks. America, they didn't really need it. So T14 was cancelled. Only 2 prototypes were ever made, and one stayed in the U.S. The other was sent to Britain. However, the one in the U.S. apparently fell apart. Something happened with it. But in any case, Britain ended up with the sole surviving T14 in the world, and it's in the Bovington Tank Museum to this day. So it's a bit slapdash history, but you get the gist. So let's go over this. Let's go over how it is. So, like I said, it's armor 50mm all around, so decent protection, not the best, but slope angle is probably gonna bounce a bunch of shells for you. So, yay. Tracks is pretty pretty wide, so I imagine it has pretty good cross-country movement. Guns 75mm, you know, the familiar 75mm that we have in the M4 Sherman. Let's look at the rounds. Okay, so we have the standard M72 AP, HE, APCBC, and we have the APCR or the HVAP. So this thing has the firepower definitely to compete in the battle rating 4.3. Yay, right? It's got machine gun, you know, it's got a 50 cal on top, it's got a coaxial 7.62, so all standard there. 5 crew members, and well, at least the ammunition is not stored all over, so it's kind of like the wet stowage, kind of like everything's on the bottom and then there's some in the middle. I mean, it's still a good place to get hit, but it's not like, hey, it's all over and one shot's gonna blow up the tank. This is a really weird arrangement of the side skirts. 12.7, so it's actually a pretty thick side skirt actually. Most side skirts only like 5mm. What's the side armor? Holy, oh, okay. So that's definitely a big boost. The side armor is 63.5mm thick. So you actually have a better chance actually trying to aim through up here than down here. Since you have to deal with the suspension, you gotta deal with the side skirts, and you got to hit through there. Yeah. So engine 646 horsepower, which is not bad, especially by Sherman standards, but it is a heavier tank. So, but then again, I'm in arcade mode, so let's look at its let's look at its power and realistic. 442. Okay, yeah, so it's definitely around the Sherman standards. Probably using the M4, the Ford engine. It doesn't say. All right. Well, so that's about it. We talked about its armament. We talked about its armor. We talked about its engine power. The only way to translate into mobility. 38 kilometers per hour. Not that bad. Let's take it out for the test drive. See how it does. We don't really need to test the gun. It's a 75mm. You guys are very well aware of it. All right. Yeah, I'm in arcade mode, but yeah, okay. So it's quite sluggish in turns. Yeah, very sluggish in turns. This is stock. Remember, I didn't buy the thing yet, so everything is as it is. However, forward mobility is not too bad. Yep, went right through. Standard 75mm. Things you see every day. Standard machine gun armament. You know, it's all you gotta worry about is the front armor at this point. It's not that bad. It looks like a very promising premium tank. Definitely well worth the price of 1,600 Golden Eagles. I think it's 1,600. I'll go back and check. Yeah. Very. I actually would buy this. I mean, I have the money now, but if I only had to buy one tank, one rank 2 tank, this is actually not that bad of a premium tank. This is definitely good. It's got decent amount of armor that you can survive, and yet anyone familiar with the Shermans would be used to it. Okay. So yeah, like I said, turning is rather sluggish. So you better have a good destination in mind, just to go forwards, and don't plan on turning that much. Alright, let's check reverse speed. Yeah, reverse. Okay, so reverse speed is about the same as the Sherman as well. So pretty much any characteristics you can find in a Sherman, T14 probably has it. It has more armor than a Sherman, definitely, especially on the sides. It's got wider tracks, and it's just the turning is very sluggish. I mean, look, I'm on the road. Yeah, see, it gets really sluggish. Damn, reverse speed's okay. So, yep.
It serves him right.
Yeah. I'm sure you're all familiar. I don't think you don't want me to penetrate through the Tiger 2's armor, do you? It's not gonna happen. I can penetrate the side though, so let's just do that. And just get up close and personal.
On target.
Okay. Yep.
Target has been destroyed.
So that's the T14, people. It's a tank that you can't really hate. I mean, it's a premium, so it's gonna be restricted, but you can't hate it. So that wraps it up for the impression on the T14. It's not a bad tank. It's a premiums, and that's because only 2 were ever built, and it's never met mass production. But it's very nice, especially for people who play around with the American ground forces with the Shermans. It got the same feeling of the Sherman. It has a cannon, it has the mobility, and it just has better armor on the side. It's gonna be it's gonna be easy for the 2 of us to get to know each other. You know, it's like one of those things. Like, yeah, I like it feels very familiar to me after all the Shermans I've been through. So I would definitely buy it. I mean, 1600 Golden Eagles once it comes out. I didn't buy it now because even if it's dev server, because there's so many other things that I probably should look at other than the T14. D14 we're just taking a glimpse at it, and who knows, maybe it can change. You know, it has the gun of 75mm APCR, armor, and good mobility. So that's all I have to say about it. Really, I would recommend this to anyone who has the Golden Eagles to get it for the American tree. Thanks for watching. I'm hopefully you'll see me again in the next tank. There's still another one in American, but maybe I will jump around and hit one of the British or Japanese. Yeah, there's some good Japanese ones. So I'll see you guys later.